So, before you start laughing at the Pope-Lick Monster urban legend for its name, keep in mind that people have actually died searching for this monster. The Pope-Lick Monster has been luring people to their doom for decades, and enthusiasts are still flocking to his bridge that runs over Pope-Lick Creek. Whether or not you believe in scary urban legends like this, the train that passes over his supposed abode is very real and can be very deadly. There are several monster legends from Kentucky, but this particular one is downright confusing. Some tales say he started as a circus freak, or was the product of a sexual relationship between a farmer and one of his sheep. Some say he kills with an axe. Others say he lures you into the darkness, never to be seen again. One thing all of the legends do say, however, is that this monster wants to trick you into coming close, and then he will kill you. And if you do venture onto his bridge, rest assured that even if he doesn't get you, a speedy train may still be your undoing. He's part human, part sheep, part goat, all weird. So, what exactly is the Pope-Lick Monster anyway? He is described as being a large, mysterious creature, like a very tall man. He is said to be part goat or part sheep, sometimes both, and is usually depicted as having ram horns. Various other parts of his body may look more human, with him having claw-like human hands or a human chest, much like the goat version of a minotaur. Those who tell the story also say his body is deformed, with his skin deathly pale and his hair greasy and snarled. With that being said, it's impossible to know for sure, because the Pope-Lick Monster has no confirmed sightings. He is more often seen just as a strange shape in the woods, and instead, people tend to find the remains of animals he has killed. Even then, legend of what he looks like persists as being sort of a freakish goat man. The legends tells of a literal circus of horrors. The most popular origin legend of the Goat Man, aka Pope-Lick Monster, has a rather strange and sad story. Supposedly, there was a man named Colonel Bernard Shillneck, who was the ringmaster of a rather twisted traveling circus. He was not known as a kind or decent man, and was instead a liar and a cheat who mistreated his performers. He ran his circus more like a gang, and thefts followed their show wherever it went. His main motive in life, above all else, was money, and he was always searching for new scams in order to get it. One day, the circus passed Beltsville, Maryland, and he came across a poor, deformed child that appeared to be half man and half goat. He took the creature with him, displaying it in a freak show in order to make money. The child began to grow up, getting larger and stronger, and the colonel imprisoned the poor creature in a cage, where he was beaten, underfed, and mistreated his whole life. The monster's hatred for mankind began to grow with every additional offense, and he began plotting an escape. The creature supposedly escaped and killed its captors. There are different versions of how this creature escaped, each one just as horrifying as the last. In keeping with the circus myth, some say that he escaped and was struck by lightning on the train trestle, which transformed him into a violent monster who hungered for blood. Others say that the animal escaped from a farmer who kept him prisoner after killing the man and then fleeing into the woods. The most detailed account has to do with a train crash. One stormy night, the circus train where the Goat Man was being imprisoned was thundering along the trestle when lightning struck, causing it to derail. The train crashed, killing everyone inside, but the goat man supposedly escaped. He then tore the survivors to shreds in a bloody revenge, including the colonel who had kept him prisoner all those years. Even after this, his bloodlust was not sated. He has continued to seek revenge on all mankind ever since. Interestingly enough, there is also a local Kentucky legend of a ghost train, and this crashed circus train is often thought to be that ghostly locomotive. He hypnotizes his victims. Rather than kidnapping children or attacking people from trees, as other violent cryptids supposedly do, the Pope-Lick Goat Man is much more clever. Reports say that he likes to lure people onto the train tracks or under the bridge into the shadows with his voice. Depending on who you ask, this is either done by hypnosis or some sort of strange siren call. If he calls you into the shadows, you will simply vanish as he leaps on you from the bridge above. More often, this sound will make you ignore the danger of the live train tracks and venture onto them without a care in the world. Once there, it will be too late for you, and the train will run you down. The goat man doesn't even have to bloody his own hands in order to claim his victims. People have actually died looking for him. Unfortunately, even if the goat man is only a legend, the deaths surrounding his bridge are very real. There are 2 confirmed cases of people dying on or below the bridge in 1987 and again in 1988. There are many injuries and close calls as well, which makes sense considering the trestle is 90 feet high and is over 700 feet across. Trains cross the bridge up to 25 times per day, and once you're in the middle of the bridge, there is no good way to get down or away from the oncoming impact. There was even a more recent case in 2016. A couple from Ohio went searching for the monster and were not able to get off the tracks when the train came rushing along. The boyfriend was able to save himself by dangling off the edge of the bridge. Even then, the train came so close that it left a mark on his arm. His girlfriend, on the other hand, was struck by the train and died almost instantly. There are injuries almost every year by those seeking out the Pope-Lick monster, whether they are just thrill seekers or are following the siren call of the goat man. It's impossible to say. Maryland's goat man may be linked to this monster. Strangely enough, the Pope-Lick monster is not the only goat monster out there terrorizing folks. The Maryland goat man is often depicted as being similar to the Pope-Lick monster, even though they are states apart. This other monster supposedly targets lovers and chases them down with an axe, scaring them and threatening to kill them. He also supposedly kills dogs and makes a horrible squealing or screaming animal noise. However, it has been suggested that the monsters are similar and even the same creature. For one thing, the Pope-Lick monster legend says that he was originally found as a deformed infant in Beltsville, Maryland. The Maryland goat man also lives on a bridge where he lures people to their deaths. Whether or not these 2 are brothers, the same creature, or completely unrelated somehow, remains to be seen. There may be a link to local Satanists. One origin story about the monster states that he is not some sort of mutant or circus freak, but was instead related to a satanic ritual. This tale states that he is the reincarnated form of a former farmer who once used to sacrifice goats to Satan in order to get supernatural powers. This new form or spirit still stalks the area. Unfortunately, This particular legend has gained attention from some satanic worshippers. There were rumors that in the mid-1970s, a satanic cult began doing demonic rituals in the Pope Lick Road area. Cats and dogs began to disappear, and it seems that they are being used in blood rituals on the mysterious Four Winds farm. This farm was just a short distance from the train trestle, and the Satanists who gathered there allegedly worshipped the Pope Lick monster, believing he was the embodiment of Baphomet, also known as the Goat of Mendez. Even into the 90s, people could supposedly hear drum beats and chanting coming from the farm on dark nights. He may pretend to be your friend. Horrifyingly enough, the Goat Man seems to have some form of psychic ability, according to some tales, and it likes to play mind games with you. The reason we know this is because, in order to lure you to your doom, it will sometimes mimic people you know. It will shout out to you, sounding like a dear friend, and you, ever trustingly, will simply follow it. It can even call out your name. Even if it's not calling out to you as a friend or loved one, it may still emanate other noises. It may sound like a cat, or even a crying baby. The Pope Lick monster is willing to do whatever it takes to convince you to wander out onto the deadly bridge or below into its clutches. It may kill you with a look or an axe. If the train doesn't get you, the Goat Man still seems to have his ways of killing you. Some accounts say that people jump from the bridge, not because a train is coming, but because they spot the monster coming for them. The sight of him is apparently so terrifying that you can't help but jump to your death. Other accounts say he's not afraid to use a weapon. Some people say that he carries around a blood-stained axe, which he uses to attack those on the bridge, or even just vehicles that pass underneath. There are no reports of anyone ever dying due to an axe attack. However, don't forget that hypnosis is his go-to technique over physical violence, and the only creatures he's ever been known to mutilate have been farm animals. In an alternate legend, the creature is a product of human-animal relations. Of course, not all the legends about the monster have to do with a circus or a freak show gone awry. Instead, some say it has to do with a little backwoods debauchery. This tale states that there was a farmer that got intimate with one of the goats, you know, in a sexual way. The goat somehow gave birth to a child, and that child had both goat characteristics as well as human ones. The farmer tried to hide the child, but it was no use, and the creature eventually killed him and got out, where it now roams the woods to this day. The bridge just happened to be its favorite place to stay, rather than having any greater significance. In this case, the Goat Man may not be out for revenge or to hypnotize you, instead, just following animal instincts. Local farmers are none too fond of this legend. While this legend is a fun one to tell, especially around Halloween, locals are not always too happy about it. Attention surrounding the monster has led to monster hunters venturing onto some farmers' land and even causing vandalism. Due to this, nearby farmers may be armed and dangerous to trespassers, and locals know not to mess with anyone who lives too close to the trestle. There's also rumors that the monster attacks livestock, and there have been so many animal killings over the years that they will do whatever it takes to protect their property from man or beast. Of course, the biggest thing locals hate about the legend is that it acts as sort of a test of bravery for teens. They dare each other to go onto the bridge, risking life and limb for a simple legend. So, even if you want to go and find the monster or prove yourself, remember to stay off the bridge. Your life may depend on it. Whether it's the Pope Lick monster that gets you, or just a speeding train. Alright, my lovely lilies, thank you so much for watching the new video. If you can, hit that subscribe and like button, comment below and tell me your thoughts. Also, don't forget to tap the little notification bell so you're always in the know on this channel. As well, guys, you can always find me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and always you can hit me up in my emails. Feel free to send me your stories, whether they're fiction or totally true. I'm always up for some great stories. And oh, by the way, until next time, sweet dreams.